Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. How is everybody doing this evening tonight? Hmm. I am so excited because I'm going to be editing. That's what the word is. Editing my Monsta X fotografias. Lunala, stop it! She's chewing on the wood. She's over here. Come here. Let me see if I can get her. Oh, I'm covering her. There she is. She's being a turd, as always. But anyway, how are you guys tonight? No one's... Okay. She's going to drive me nuts. Yes, she is. Is my chat frozen, or is just nobody responding? Okay. Thanks, sis. Okay, so we're just waiting for other people to come in. I don't know, there may not be very many people coming in tonight. I know the Super Bowl's going on, but that's cool. I've got my helper here. Yeah. Lunala, you say hi? You say hi? Yeah, come here. Okay. She is either chewing on the bed or doing, yeah. Hello, Blanca! Nice of you to join us again. Yep, cat butt. Definitely cat. Oh, yeah. I just got smacked in the face with a tail. Sarah, come get your niece. She's wilding out over here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I guess I'm going to jump into this editing. It's 7:05. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess get started. We did do a poll online to see which ones would be edited. And it turns out that the winning photos were for the group shot of them all together, as well as the wrap line. So let me go ahead and oh, too far. There we go. Yeah. So here we go. Here we've got Jew Honey. I'll make this a little bit smaller. Y'all don't really need to see that or anything. So Lunala, would you stop biting on the wood? You can get fiber other ways. So, we've got this picture of Jew Honey, but let me go ahead. I'm going to filter this down to the ones that I have selected rather than just the ones that are 5 stars. Where's the one? Where's... Okay, so I'm not going to do that because there was one. I am going to start with the group shot. This was one of the options that we had. Thank you so much. It helped being front row. Honestly, it helped being front row. So this is with OT7 Monsta X. It is from 2019 when they were at the Staples Center. I had gone with a good friend of mine, Desi, and honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better night. So I do like these pictures a lot the way they are. However, I think we could make them a bit better, if you know what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and do that. First of all, because these were actually taken on a mobile phone, I'm going to remove my chromatic aberration, and I'm going to go ahead and enable lens corrections. What's really cool about this is that I can change the profile. Yeah, ooh, yeah, Blanca, that was a trip being able to be front row. I got so many great pictures that I could show you guys. I've got some from vocal line, some from lap rap line, as well as some really cool kind of like side stage shots. Can you? What are you doing? Okay. That happened. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my chromatic aberration. I'm going to enable lens corrections down here in this corner. So what that means I can do is that I can actually change the lens profile to something completely different, like an actual camera. So I shoot on Canon, so I'm going to change it to Canon model ESF 10 to 22 millimeter. I tend to maybe like to shoot on a 50 mil or my 18 to 135, my zoom lens. So I am going to see where's my 18. This is 28, 18 to 55. Let's just show it on my 50 and we'll see what happens. Cleans up a little bit. It doesn't really like make a huge difference. So I can change the distortion, the lens vignetting. I can also touch up a bit as well. So, I mean, it makes a little bit of a difference. But now that that is done, I'm going to go ahead and close the optics. I don't really need them anymore. It's okay. Go to color, monochrome, profiles. No, I think I'm just going to stick with what it is. I'm going to see what this auto button has to offer, and let's see what it does. I don't like that at all. Not a fan. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. And let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to do a point curve. Let's add some dimension to this. I'm going to bring that up, flatten it out just a little bit, add these point curves here. I'm going to bring up the highlights, and I'm going to kind of bring down the darks a little bit, but I'm also going to turn on my histogram. Oh, hi Samuel XXV. You're totally fine. It's a-okay. You're fine. I know you would have been here if you could have been. Checking to say happy people send me posters. Can't wait for drive. Yes, I have actually sent out all of the previous giveaway items. So the first two original Samuel posters are in the mail. Both of those winners are actually from India. That has been a project being able to send things out during a pandemic. Oh boy. But then I've got 3 albums that were sent out. One was sent to Wisconsin, one was sent to Arkansas, as well as one being sent to Mexico. I also did a giveaway on our Instagram for 12 Days of 21. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it is 2021 and one of the most iconic girl groups of all time. 21, it's their name. So we're going to be doing 12 Days of 21. So on the 21st of every month throughout the year of 2021, we will be giving away 21 themed merchandise, and that's only on our Instagram. So you've got to go like those posts, tag 3 blackjacks, and that's pretty much it. You're entered to win. So that one went into the mail as well, and I have actually directly ordered the last 2 winners for Samuel's posters, and they're going to be there within the week. So I'm really hoping that the mailing services cooperate with me, because I'm getting kind of bogged down. So a total of 4 albums. Actually, and I threw in a surprise The Boys calendar from our last unboxing and 4 posters. Whew, it was a lot. Hello, Faye. Oh no, you're fine. We are just getting started. Now it's a party. All right, so I added an S-curve because what an S-curve does is it actually just gives a lot of really nice dimension to your photo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing For anyone that doesn't know, I'm actually a very large fan of Peter McKinnon. And one thing that he has recommended doing is putting an S-curve on all of your colors. So I'm going to see what that does for this one. I'm going to bring that up and I'm going to bring that down. And if anyone knows why this is an S-curve, let me know over here. Because I keep saying S-curve and I realize that a lot of people probably have no idea what it is. And bring this one up a bit, this one back down a bit. It is starting to clip over here into these highlights. So I'm going to go over here, bring that down a little bit, just a tiny bit overall. So here we can see before, after. Just kind of clean it up a tiny bit. I'm already liking it. I think the guys here look pretty stellar, if I do say so myself. And I am myself, so I do say so. Okay, anyway, I think this crop could be a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to bring this in just a tiny bit because there's a random face there. And I'm going to put more of the focus. Actually, I want to keep these lights in there. And I'm just going to bring this over to that light as well. So let's see how that crop looks. All right. I can live with that. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm actually going to move this too because I realized that the live thing is like right over my face. So let's not do that. Okay. So I'm just going to move down your screen real quick. No big deal. Let's go ahead and I'm going to throw on a linear gradient because I am going to take those clipping highlights. You see these red splotches right in here. Yeah, let's get rid of that. So let's go ahead and we'll take those highlights down as well. But we're also going to make the shadows a bit darker just to give it that really moody feel. So there's that one. I'm also going to come up from the bottom. And with this one, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I am going to take this because you can see I love seeing the light sticks and everything, but I don't love seeing the cameras and just random faces. I don't know who they are and more camera screens. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take the sharpness out and then where's my blur option? And then I'm going to take that exposure down just to kind of get rid of that a little bit. I'm going to see if I can paint this out actually. Let me see what we can do here. We're going to clone this. And like that. And then I'm also going to clone her hand out because that way it doesn't look like she's just holding a block of nothing. You know what I mean? So, okay, this goes back up here, back onto her hand. There we go. Okay, so I think that looks a little bit better. And I'm also going to blur out her face. Don't want to replace it with that. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Go ahead and take that and replace it with this. Hi, Maisha. No, you guys are totally fine. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that you are better, Maisha. I was worried. COVID is scary, and I'm so glad that you're feeling okay, and I'm so glad that you're better. That makes me really happy. Make sure to stay hydrated, though. Everybody, drink water. I sound like a broken record in the K-pop world, but drink water. In fact, you know what? I'm drinking water now. Ooh, okay. So, I don't know if you guys think that looks any better over here or anything. I'm just going to keep blurring that until there's definitely no sign of a human being there. Okay, cool. I mean, I think that looks okay. It went from that to that. What do you guys think? Good. Stay hydrated. Okay, so we loving this. I think I like this. I'd rather see the light sticks than I would the phone screens. I don't know, maybe I'm just being Petty LaBelle with it, but light sticks are fun. Phone screens are kind of annoying. So let's see, what else can we do to this? Let's go ahead and we'll go over here and we are going to, I'm going to lighten this exposure just a touch because you see my histogram up here, it is all to the left. So let's see. Bring these highlights up tiny bit. No, one hose blowing out. Let's not do that. Raise the whites. No. Okay. Ooh, I know what I can do. I know what I could do. Let's see these effects. I got that. Let's add a little bit of touch of clarity. Dehaze a tiny, maybe moderate amount. Add a little bit of grain because grain actually makes it look a little more texturized. But let's go ahead and we'll bump these highlights down a little bit as well. I know it's getting kind of dark, so... Oh, nope, wrong. Oh, okay. Don't wait. We'll come back. Come back. Come back. There we go. Okay. My computer decided to freak out on me. So let's go ahead and I am going to throw in a radial gradient around the guys because they are the focus. So I'm going to invert it. That way it selects everything. Okay, there's my mic. So it selects everything on the outside of them. And I am going to, let's see, let's cool that down. Oh, I like that. Let's cool it down. We're going to lower the exposure as well. That way we can really start to see those twinkling lights. And I'm going to bump the highlights and the whites. So what do we think about that? Add a little bit of texture, a little bit of more clarity on the outside of that. So boom, before and after. What are we thinking of that, guys? Thank you so much, Maisha. You guys are so sweet. Sarah, you're so quiet. I mean, you can talk, you know. Oh, wait, she's probably playing. My sister is here again, guys. Just a Girl Gamer, say hello. She's amazing. She streams and she plays a ton of games. I don't play games because I am not that great at games. I like sliders and lights and clicky snapshot thingies. All right, so there's the before, there's the after. I feel like there's still a little bit more we can do. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to keep in this radial mask and I'm going to turn up the purples a little bit. A lot of bit apparently. And I'm going to cool it down just a little bit more. I kind of dig that vibe though. I'm going to do another radial mask though, I think. What are we thinking of that, guys? I'm going to do another linear mask over here because I'm going to try and get rid of these balcony seat lines. So I'm just going to drop the exposure on those. Just makes it a little bit moodier, I guess. And then this whole thing is just like a vaulted ceiling, which there's nothing wrong with that. So boom, boom. All right, I think we are ready to go on to the next one. Do you guys think that's a good final product? Actually, no, I think there's a bit too much contrast there. Just a tiny bit. So I'm going to go back to this linear grade or this radial gradient again. And I am going to create another one around them. And I am going to bump the exposure and I'm going to lower the contrast. So that way it's not quite as aggressive. I'm going to bump up the whites and the highlights. This was actually taken in 2019. As you can see, there's 7 of them, and Monsta X has 6 now. So this was on their last world tour with Wonho before COVID in 2019, which honestly it was absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna bring the whites down a little bit, actually. Oh, thank you so much, Blanca. Oh, this is still inverted. There we go. Guys. Oh, I missed one hope too, Blanca. I actually applied the invert, and I shouldn't have applied the invert. So there, now that I have made it apply to the boys, the guys, because the boys is an actual group that's not them. Here we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. So let's move on to the next one. Wrap line. Wrap line was the winner for this one. So let me just go ahead and I'm going to export this one now because for some reason when I try to export these for people to save, it just does not work for some reason and it's driving me nuts. So let's just go ahead and export it. Not going to save it to the Samuel giveaways because it's not a Samuel giveaway, but we'll save it to MX group edit. What? Okay. MX edits. Cool, it went to MX edits. Got it. Okay, so let's see where we were. Okay, so we had wrap line. And when I tell you guys I was front row, I was front row. There you go, sis. I'm glad I know what dub means now. Woohoo! Okay, so let's check out. This is another edit that I did. This was the original, and this is an edit that I did previously. I'm going to shut off the clipping masks real quick. But this was the original that I had taken, and this was with no zoom, guys, no zoom. So this was the edit that I made of Jew Honey before. And I have a photo that is similar to this, which is this one that I wanted to edit with you guys because I don't know if you can see it, but I love his facial expression. And I just think this is a great photo, and I never edit it for some reason. So let's go ahead and do this one, shall we? First of all, I'm going to crop. This is a lot of extra dead space over here. I think that is a lot of extra dead space. There we go. Okay, so there's the new crop. Let me see what this auto does. Okay, it's not terrible. It's very aggressive, though. Those reds are really red. So let's add an S-curve to this. An S-curve, by the way, is called an S-curve because the shape, when you put the curve on, is an S. It works. I know, his expression was fantastic. So I'm going to move this up a little bit into the greens. I'm going to pull these back down into the purples and then the blues. And balance this out with the yellows. That might be a little too much. And these reds might be a little too red. That's a little too green. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to the overall one. And boom. Wow, that's so intense. That's really intense, guys. Okay, so I'm going to flatten that out just a tiny, tiny bit. I don't want to lose his facial expression in this at all. So let's see. Okay, we're going to go without the point curve for a minute. We'll see what happens. It's definitely still in color. And I'm going to change my optics again because this was taken on a mobile phone. Oh, I know, sis. It's okay, though. I mean, we had a really good season, so I'm not too upset about it, honestly. Like, I am decked out head to toe in Kansas City Chiefs gear right now because that's my team. I will forever cheer for them. But we've got a young quarterback, and he's great. So You'll be okay. Anyway, I'm going to change my profile. I'm going to change it again to Canon, and I'm going to change this to a 50 mil. Let's see what that 200 mil does. And okay, so then we're going to lens distortion, lens vignetting. I sure did, Samuel. Yeah, I actually started as a film photographer. This was taken on a Samsung S8 Plus. This one was, believe it or not. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy what phone cameras can do. It's absolutely crazy what they can do. Um, so let's go into the detail. We'll sharpen that up a little bit. I really want to make sure we keep that expression in his face. Color noise reduction a little bit. Let's see how weird that looks if we go to the extreme. Go to the extreme and then back it down because I don't want him to look super plasticky. Let's add a little bit, just a tiny bit of texture, bump the clarity a little bit. I'm going to dehaze it to get rid of some of this shadow over here. But then I'm going to come up here into the color. And because it's so... Let me see if this white balance does anything. I'm going to change it selectively. Oh, that was... No, mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Okay, so I'm going to cool this down a tiny bit because it's just so red. I'm going to add a tiny bit of green. I'm going to bump the vibrance. Okay, that's not the direction I went at all. But I'm going to bump the vibrance, but I'm going to drop the saturation a tiny, tiny bit. It's okay, Blanca. It takes a lot of practice, And you keep at it, I promise you, you'll get better once we can have concerts again. That's the kicker here, is we've got to have concerts. Okay, so the red saturation, I am just going to bump the luminance, and I'm going to drop the saturation, but I am going to increase the hue a little bit to where that reddish color. The orange, I'm going to bring up a little bit more, just a little more saturation. No, I don't want his skin color to change. No. Okay, so... Okay, I'm not too upset with that. It's just so... It was just so dark. Okay, so color, and I'm going to go back to light again. I'm going to drop the exposure a tiny bit. I'm going to raise the highlights, and I'm going to drop the shadows, but I'm going to bump the whites, and I'm going to... I don't want to crush the blacks because that's what happens. So I'm going to bring those blacks up to where they vanish. They have vanished, and you can now tell that it is not just the black abyss. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and bring in another radial gradient. I love radial gradients because I like to draw attention to my subject, wherever, whatever it might be. So throw that around Honey 100. And I'm going to warm that up. I'm going to expose it a little bit more. Raise the contrast. Drop the shadows. Add a little bit of texture, clarity. Dehaze it a bit. Like a bit. There we go. And then saturation. I don't want to desaturate them too much. There we go. Add a tiny bit of noise. Then let's see what this colorize does. Right, Samuel? That's my point. I love having the radial gradients because they just make it so quick and so simple to focus on what you want to have focused on in the picture. Let me see. Not a fan. But I'm not upset with this edit. So I'm going to turn off the colorize, and I am going to now go to my presets because I'm going to see if there's anything that might work with this one. I'm thinking Let's look at the creative ones. Desaturated, cool light. I have so many of these that let me go here and then go. There we go. Okay, so curve. Cross process is kind of cool. It's one of my favorites, but it's now strong S curve. Grain. No, I don't want grain. Optics. No. Let's go down here. Blueberry was interesting last time. I'm just not sure it'll work with this one. Let's go Insta Style. What does Insta Style got for us? Dark, 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 dark. Red and dark. Dark, 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 dark. Goose. Okay. Um, hmm. Yeah, see, this is the peril of doing something live. Like all of this is just out here for everyone to see. But I'm okay with it. I mean, these are my kind of exercises, so that was kind of cool. Ooh, that was kind of tough looking. Atlantic 6? It was really red and gold. Pinkish red, holy smokes. Really dark and really dark. I'm gonna see what Airy has to offer. Ah, this is just a photo that is trying to kill me right now. All right, but I did think that I liked part of that Atlantic 6. Oh, thank you, Blanca. I absolutely love doing album covers, honestly. Minimal white, 1, 2, 3. Wow, I'm just like not finding much of anything that I like. Let's see what Rich Mood's got. Okay, let's try one more and we'll see if anything works. If not, then it's going to probably be the Atlantic 6 that I really liked. You guys, you know what I just realized? I might be going about this all wrong. Let me go back to that Atlantic 6, see what I think. Okay, I do dig the Atlantic 6. Okay. So I'm going to go and I'm actually going to make this monochrome. And I am going to basically restart this. I mean, I'm not sure how we feel about that in black and white. Go back. No. No black and white. No. I said no black and white. There we go. So it's a little flat, which I like for this one. So I'm going to come down here and there is some highlight clipping in here. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to drop those highlights just a tiny bit and I'm going to bring those whites down because that's what's clipping in here. Ah, no! Stop that. No. That one. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to click my radial filter and I am going to bump the exposure in there. I don't want to have him clipping or anything like that, so I'm going to drop the highlights a little bit, but I'm also going to bring this up a tiny bit because his pants are black, so we don't really need to see the detail in his pants. It's his face that is absolutely great right here. So okay, I think actually that might I'm gonna drop this a little bit. Okay, you know, I'm not angry at this. I'm not angry at this at all. Okay, so there's the before, there's the after. What do you think, you guys? Do you like the before or the after? I feel like I don't know. This was a very interesting and tricky one for me, so who knows? So, let's go on to another one. And another one. Okay. So next we have I am. I am what I am. I'm gonna find I am. Thank you. Oh, these are some other group shots that I had where Hyungwon was waving his arms and saying goodbye to everybody. I thought those were super cute and sweet, so maybe I'll come back and edit that one in a little bit. These were the on stage ones. Aw, Honey being cute. Dancing. This was when Ki-hyun had his injury to his foot, so he actually didn't dance really at all. He wasn't even supposed to be standing, but he did for the group. Um, uh, Thank you, Blanca. Let him know. Tag him, let him know, send him my way. You know what? Call me. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Um, but I had so much fun taking these. And I love how much fun they had with Ki-hyun, even though he was seated. He felt really bad that he couldn't perform. That was something that really bummed him out. But he was sitting in front of me the whole time, so that was pretty great. There's a dance shot of them. I forgot how many actually decent photos I have. So yeah, this was they were seated in front of me. Ki-hyun, more dancing. The group where he stood up, he really wasn't supposed to. Okay, there's a little story behind this one. It's absolutely hilarious. Honey's face here is that way, and his hand is here because there was a fan asking him to lift his shirt so that they could see his abs. So Honey was like trying to lift, and he lifted the very bottom of his shirt, and that was it. So that was the moment that was caught here, was him looking at the fan like, you want me to lift my shirt? You want me to lift it? I don't know. It was interesting. It was funny because he was in his own little world while everyone else was doing their own thing. So let me see. Bottle flip. Why? I don't know. But I do want the Monsta X labeled carafe bottle. Just throwing that out there. Why not? Wonho and Shonu's dance. I am and Honey. Honey on the drums is a whole vibe. It's a whole mood. It was so cool to just see him rip through the drums. In fact, you know what? We're going to do another one real quick. Just cuz. So, all right. I'm going to go to, nope, not the window. I'm going to shift, and I'm going to straighten this horizon line. So I'm going to straighten that out, and then I am going to crop it. There we go, I think. I think that's a good. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up the highlights. Boom. Okay, I'm going to turn on my clipping masks again because I don't want any clipping. Yep, see, there they are. The blacks are clipping at the very front. These highlights should come down a bit. Okay. And the shadows should come up a bit because, okay, but I don't want to do that to the whole picture. So linear gradient it is. This comes on up here to the top of those just about, and then we are going to we're going to raise the exposure. No, hang on, we're going to reset that. And we're going to raise the shadows, and we're going to raise the blacks. It's a very fine line, but we got it. Okay. So then I'm going to throw a racer, a radial gradient around him because I want to colorize what's around him just a tiny bit. So I'm going to invert it, and I'm going to turn that on. Woo! Okay, I kind of like that moody purple and blue red kind of combination there. I sound like a rabbit. Yeah, I sound like a rabbit. Just raise the exposure a tiny bit, and I'm going to raise the contrast a tiny bit as well. I am going to lower the blacks just a little bit. Thank you so much. I love this picture. I love live instrumentation more than just about anything else on earth. I was a trumpet player for years and years and years, and I still love trumpet. So anytime someone is playing an instrument, I'm just completely engrossed in it. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go down to the effects here. I'm going to bump that clarity. I'm going to dehaze it a tiny bit. I'm going to bring that clarity back down a tiny bit. Bring up the texture. I'm going to add a vignette, I think. A tiny one. Wrong direction. There we go. Tiny bit higher. There we go. Okay, so before and after. Boom. Anything for the detail for me? Noise reduction. Yeah, I'll do a little bit of noise reduction. Color noise reduction. Drop that down a little bit. And I'm going to sharpen it up a little bit because I don't want them to become too muddy faced. So let's see. Gonna find my I am photos. There we go. I love this photo. This was not the one that I posted on my Instagram for what I dub as very obvious reasons, but it may not be entirely obvious to everybody, you know. So there's that. Just throwing that out there. Another one, this was one. It was so much fun. I absolutely love seeing them so much. This was one that I put up there. The only thing I really hate about this is the fact that I was front row, but I was so far to the right that all of the effects gear was in front of me. Yes, I love Chang Kyun. He is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, here's another one that I loved. It was the back of his head, but he was just like in a vibe that night. He had no cares to be given at all. And you know what? So be it. I think I'm actually going to edit. Let's see. Do you guys want to see this one? This will be 1 or 2. 1 or 2. I feel like an optometrist. 1 or 2. 2 or 3. 3 or 4. 4 or 1. 2. Okay, 1. 2. Okay, 2 it is. So let's go ahead and straighten this out a little bit. I'm going to straighten that out to go along with the back here. There we go. Okay, so then I'm also going to do a little bit of distortion on this one because I want it to kind of seem like he's a little bit more forward. At this moment, he was actually coming up out of the stage, so he wasn't all the way up. Um, so let me see what we can do with that. I'm going to remove, enable, change profile. Again, changing it to my Canon. 50 mil is good. Okay, lens correction. Okay, lens vignetting. And then I'm going to go to geometry. Geometry is really cool because you can actually change the slope and the rise of the image. So I'm going to turn off the clipping just for now, just because it can get in the way. So vertical distortion, I'm going to go backwards a tiny bit because he wasn't all the way up. So no, I don't want to mess with the offset. Scale. There we go. Horizontal, I think. I could go a little bit to the right. I actually rather dig that. Okay, so then I'm going to go back to my crop and I'm going to hone this in tiny bit. Get some of that in there. Let me see how that looks. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm going to crop it just a tiny bit more because I love the design and I want to keep it like it keeps on going. Okay, so here's what we're working with. I'm going to go ahead and bring back my clipping indicators because there's a lot of it going on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and not bring that exposure up. No, I'm going to bring the exposure up, but I'm going to bring the whites down and the highlights down. But I'm going to bring the shadows up. Excuse me. And the blacks up, just so they're not super, super crushed. And I'm going to do that another way over here with my linear gradient. Just going to go ahead and I'm going to leave that exposure alone, but I'm going to bring the shadows up and bring the blacks up. Ooh, I am not liking that at all. Not liking that at all, guys. It's getting pixelated. There we go. That's a bit softer. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing down here just to get rid of some of those. I'm actually going to decrease the exposure just because I like the border that it gives. Okay, so there's the border that is given, and I am going to go ahead and throw, you probably guessed it, a radial filter around Mr. Changkyun here. I'm going to invert it because I am going to cool down the exterior around him. I'm going to heighten that magenta just a tiny bit. Drop the exposure a little bit. And I'm going to up the saturation. So I think it's really kind of moody, taking it from that to that, just calming it down a tiny bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw another one on him. It sounds so violent. I'm going to throw one on him. Good gosh. Kayla, you need to calm yourself. Okay, so I'm not going to invert this one. I'm going to bring that exposure on him just a tiny bit. Ooh, that's pretty. So pretty. I'm going to desaturate it a touch, just a touch, but I am going to sharpen it a tiny bit, defringe, and I'm going to lower the noise for that. I'm also going to dehaze it to give a little more depth to his face. I'm going to up the clarity a tiny bit. Actually, I might drop the clarity. I'm going to drop it substantially, but I'm going to increase the texture. So there's before, there's after. And let's see. I'm going to do another colorize, I think. I think it would be really kind of cool to layer some colors on here. So we're going to invert this again, and we're going to go back down to colorize. Kind of like those reds out here a little bit more again too. And this one, there's the colorize. Purple. So I changed the shade and the tint of the red a little bit, but what are you guys thinking of this so far? You guys are so quiet tonight. All right, so I actually think I'm gonna like crop this one in just a little bit more too. Might actually go this way with it. I wonder if I could. Oh, you guys are so cute. I'm just teasing you guys. I'm gonna see. This could go incredibly well or incredibly poorly. So let's see how this goes. Oh, that's. I've seen worse. I've seen worse. Okay. 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 So that's moving that. Okay. Oh, Blanca, I feel that. I feel that so much. Don't feel bad at all. Please don't feel bad. Oh, wait, no. No, no, no. Go back. Okay, so this is here and it goes. Okay. Guys. Oh my goodness. I'm not really upset with this. That's before, that's after. Oh my gracious. Okay, so wow. Okay, cool. This is pretty rad. Um, I'm actually really shocked. I'm gonna go ahead and try and mask this a little bit just because there's that color difference here, so it's a little bit obvious. So, where is this from? I'm really not upset with this. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this in, and then I'm going to lower that exposure. Wow, guys, I'm actually very, very surprised at myself right now. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so I'm still very surprised and very shocked at what I just did. Very proud of myself. That's a first for me, guys. It's not the greatest. It's really not, but okay, so let me see if because I tried to match it to this since it's on the same level, but let me look and see. Yeah, there's just not enough real estate there. But if I go over here, the angle is different. So, okay. You know what? I can just do this. Ta-da! Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it was my first time trying to take out anything that massive. I've taken out things like power lines or flyaways, those kinds of things, but I've never actually just full on removed technical equipment from an image. That is mind boggling to me. I'm very pleased with myself right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw another um, I'm gonna touch up the vignette on this. There we go. And I'm going to raise him a tiny bit. I'm just I can't believe that. Wow. I don't know why I'm so surprised at my skills, but I guess I just am because I don't know. I like trying new things with you guys and just talking to you guys about it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's fun to me. It's fun. It's fun. Okay, so to celebrate, I'm going to export this one right now. Right now. Um, okay, so that is exported. Oh, thank you, Juhita. You're so sweet. If you have to go to your class, please go to your class. Don't feel like you have to miss out for this. So you can always come back and watch again. I promise. I promise. I will always, always, always upload these for you guys. Let's see. There's Hyungwon. I want to do a vocal line one just because I love the vocal line so much. Let's see. Where's a Hyungwon one? Uh, that's a Hyungwon one, but Kihyun? I kind of like this Kihyun one. Maybe I'll do a Kihyun one. One of my really good friends is a Massive Kihyun fan. Turn these off because it's distracting. Oh, that's Minhyuk. That hurt. That hurt. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, this is where Changkyun was halfway up through the hole in the stage. It was an epic, epic entrance. And it was right in front of my face. He looked at me like 3 times, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with myself. Awkward eye contact, but okay. Um, so, anywho, this one. This one. I love Kihyun's face in this one. It's really red, it's very gold, but we're going to give it our best shot, okay? So, here we go. I'm going to hit auto, see what it does. Oh my gatos, that was a mistake. So much red. Let's go ahead and let's just not with the red. I hate red lights so much. I'm going to drop the exposure, but I'm going to up the contrast. I'm going to raise the highlights a tiny bit. I'm going to show the shadow clipping and highlights. I'm going to drop the whites. And then I'm going to change. Okay, I am back. Oh, now you tell me the level is critical. Thank you for your very late notification. Okay, so I am going to sharpen this up a bit. I'm going to raise that noise reduction, and I'm going to increase the color noise reduction. Optics, again, I'm going to remove that chromatic aberration. I'm going to use that lens correction. Canon, I'm going to do 70 to 300. Lens vignetting. And then lens distortion correction. Okay, so then I'm going to go and I'm going to change this crop because that's just a lot. I kind of like the light stick in the side here, but it's not the focus, so we're just going to go ahead and gradient mask that down. And I'm really just going to focus on Kihyun here. So he is the focus of this one. I'm going to invert it, and I am going to cool it down outside of his little bubble, but not that much because then it doesn't look natural. I'm going to take the exposure down. I'm going to take the contrast up. I'm going to drop those shadows. I'm going to drop the blacks. Not that far. That's too far. Texture, up the clarity. And I'm going to dehaze it because dehazing it tends to make it a little bit darker, but then I'm going to raise those shadows back up because on the outside they're starting to clip. So that's done. Now I'm going to take another radial filter, and around Kihyun I'm going to make some changes to him. I'm not going to invert it, but I am going to cool him down a tiny scotch. I am going to also just kind of underexpose him. I'm going to drop the shadows because I really want his jacket to stand out. Oh boy, what other concerts have I been to? Do you mean that I've been to or that I have pictures from or photos from? Because I have been to a lot. My first K-pop concert was actually G-Dragon in 2017. He played at the Forum here in Los Angeles, and it was right before he went into military. It was his last visit before military. So that was my first K-pop concert. I've also been to KCON, so I've seen several artists perform, like Wanna One, NCT. I've seen Got7, Card. Oh boy, I've seen Monsta X. I've seen TXT. I saw their debut show in Los Angeles. I saw Super M's actual debut in Los Angeles as well at Capitol Records. That was a blast. Um, and then who else have I also been to? I've been to One Us. I've been to Mont. Yeah, G Dragon was my first K-pop show, and I will tell you, the man is Chunjae. He's Chunjae. He's genius. It was such a brilliant show. It was so good. Um, yeah, so I've been to a lot of concerts, and then I also hosted a meet and greet here in LA at a K-pop store for a former member of Top Dog. So that was fun. It was a lot of fun, actually. We had over 500 people show up, and we actually had to cut it early because he just could not like handle the sheer amount of people that were coming in. It was supposed to only be about 200 to 250, but double the amount came up. And a lot of them actually flew in from other countries with a week's notice. I was astounded at the turnout for that, but that was a lot of fun. I'm going to increase his highlights, but this red is just kind of killing me, so. Okay. I'm going to colorize it just a tiny bit. Okay, so from red to tolerable. Got it. I'm wondering, should I crop in? It is a lot of fun. Living in LA has its benefits for sure, but it also has its drawbacks for sure. Let me see what this looks like. Ooh, no, okay. Very postery without me wanting it to be postery. Okay, so I think that should be it. Maybe I'll do one more. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Export and JPEG. MX edits. And if only Kihyun wasn't just randomly facing to the side here, this would be fantastic. I mean, it's still a good shot, but I'm gonna say for the last one, because it's already 8:08, I'm gonna do this one. Yep, this one. Got it. Cool. Bring this crop in. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna leave that crop kind of simple where it is. No, that's just way too much extra. Whoa, stop that. Stop that, stop that, stop that, stop that, stop that. Okay, so there's that. I change my optics. Yeah, but some of the things that I was talking about, the drawbacks, because there are so many people that lived here. Oh yeah, I love LA. I really do. There's just so many people that live here. And so for any events that happen, it's chaos. It's absolute and utter chaos. Getting tickets is next to impossible. Meet and greets, you might as well forget about them. They're just so difficult to get into because of the sheer amount of people. It's actually not a bad idea to try and get tickets to major artists that you want to see in other places, such as like Chicago, at some of the smaller stops, maybe in Texas, or even San Francisco's not quite as bad, but LA sells out very, very quickly, and a lot of the time we can't get tickets. Before COVID hit, my friend Elijah and I actually got our BTS tickets, and we were very fortunate enough to actually secure soundcheck tickets, and we were seventh row. Um, so we were so sad once they announced that they were postponing the concert because we'd finally been those people. We were the people that everyone else was mad at that got the sound check or that got the really, really good seats up front. And then COVID hit. So big sad. But hopefully we'll be able to get back to that show sooner rather than later because yeah, just yeah. Okay, so I'm going to lighten the contrast on this one. I'm not going to, no, I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to raise the blacks just because here in this corner, actually, you know what? I'm going to take care of that corner because it's the only corner that's being problematic. And I'm going to just raise the exposure and the whites. No, I know the whites, there's none there. I'm going to raise the blacks. There we go. I do not know why you only see your comments, sis. There are a few in here. That's really bizarre. I could not tell you. Um, is it in your settings? It shouldn't be that way. Let me see. Yeah, it shouldn't be that way. That's really bizarre. I am going to again throw a radial filter around them because I really want them to stand out against the background. So I'm going to invert it and I'm going to drop that exposure, make it really moody. But I'm going to raise the I'm gonna drop the temperature a little bit, but I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of maroon to it. Oh my gosh, Sarah. Can anybody else see her comments or is it just me? I don't know if I messed something up in the chat or not. Oh no. I have nobody for my own. Anyway, won't traumatize you guys with that. That's just bad. Up that clarity a little bit. I'm not too concerned about this being too dark. I can just go ahead and raise that up and it'll take care of that. Thank you. Okay, Sarah, they can see your comments. I'm just not sure why you can't see theirs. Could not tell you. Okay, another radial gradient around them. I'm going to start with one specifically on Ki-Hyun because he's very purple. Very, very purple. Don't need the purple boy. Raise the temperature on him and change the tint so he doesn't look quite so purple. The poor guy. Good gosh. That is so weird. Yeah, I have... What? That is so bizarre. I'll have to look into that. I'm sorry, sis. I don't know why you can't see anyone else's texts or messages. That's very, very saddening for me. So... Going to the... There we go. Okay. Yep, there we go. I always forget to turn the what do you call it? Invertedness off. Heighten the exposure. I am going to colorize this because he looks so purple. I'm just going to add some yellow because they are opposites on the color wheel to kind of take some of that out. I don't want him looking like a blueberry. Okay. Okay, he just looks a little more purple. Sarah. Well, I'm glad it worked out for you. Okay. I don't know why his face is so pink. I think it's because right here there was definitely a purple light and it is just on his face. Um, I couldn't tell you, sis. I have no idea what you did either. I don't know what I did. I don't know what they did. I don't know what he, she, we did. um, he's so purple. He's just so purple. Okay. Okay, that's a little bit better. I mean, that's a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop that exposure then again. Oh man, and I'm going to put a radial around the rest of Z guys so that we can see them a little bit more. More, 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 more. Okay, so I think I am happy with that. All right, guys, I think that might actually do it. Let me know what you guys thought was the best edit. I absolutely loved this one. I can't get over how well I was able to get rid of just wow. Okay, whatever. So, I just I'm I'm flabbergasted, amazed, in awe, just about these. I want to make sure that this one exported. So, um, alrighty, guys. I probably won't do a giveaway with this one just because I wasn't the most confident with those. I'm glad you love the 2 honey one. If you guys want me to do a giveaway for these, let me know, and I will definitely do a giveaway on these guys as well. I really couldn't do any of this without you guys. I appreciate all of you so much for tuning in, especially week after week when I know that there's not a lot of people that follow me. I appreciate you guys more than you possibly know. So, um, I just keep talking with me. I will figure out some more fun and interesting stuff that we can do. I will be back again next week with another editing. Maybe. Thank you so much. I might go back to some more Samuel edits. I don't know because I still have literally thousands, thousands of photos that I did not edit and that did not make the cut. So, um, yeah, I guess I will just go ahead and I will um, see you guys next time. Okay, I'll talk to you guys on Insta. Bye.